Hello everyone, this is Professor Raghavendra Adhyapak, KLS Kopti College of Commerce, Belagavi. So in today's class, we are going to discuss with investor grievances and their redressal system. Okay, so what it means in India, there is a high rate of dishonest practices or frauds or unethical investment culture in the financial markets. Correct. So to protect the investors, the regulatory authorities like SEBI or government or courts, company law board, these all are the different authorities who are taking the different steps and actions to protect the investor and make them to secured or safe in the investment of financial markets. Okay, so investor protection is a wide term. It encompasses all the measures designed to protect the investor from malpractices of the brokers, companies, managers, merchant bankers, registrar issues, and etc. So this is that different people involved in the markets, right? We know that brokers are there, companies are there, right? Merchant bankers are there. Okay, so by these members, the investor can get affected or they can mischief or do the any malpractices or unfair trade practices with the investor. So to protect the investor from these all middlemen of the share markets or the securities market, the SEBI has taken the different steps. Okay, so the main complaints are against the broker of the stock exchanges, against the listed companies, and the mutual funds. Okay, so basically in India we are receiving the more and more complaints from the investor against these three peoples. One is brokers of the stock exchanges, against the listed companies, and the mutual funds. Okay, next, usual grievances of investors means what? Against whom an investor can complain the file, that it will say. First one is against the companies. Okay, if investor is facing any problem with the companies, they can file a complaint against companies or against. Second one is brokers. So if any investor is having the problem with the broker or he is feel that he is frauded by any broker of the stock exchanges, they can file a case against the broker. Next one is against the depositories. Okay, next we will see one by one about these things. Usual grievances against the companies. Okay, so what may be the problems or the, we can say that any unfair trade practices an investor may have with the companies on which he can file the case. So first one is delay in registering transfer of securities if there is any delay. Next one is non-payment or delay in payment of dividend if the companies are not paying any dividend. Okay, even though they're having the profit but not issuing the dividend, in that case they can go for the uh, file a case. Okay, next is non-repayment or delay in the repayment of public deposits, non-receipt of right issue offers. Okay, what is right issue? We already studied that. Right issue means when the companies wanted to issue the shares, first they have to issue shares to existing shareholders, then to outsiders. Correct? So as a already shareholders, you have first the right to take those shares of the companies, that is known as right issue shares. Okay, so whenever they are going to add some more additional shares to public, before that they have to allow it to its existing shareholders. First offer should be given to existing shareholders. If they refuse, then they can go for the public offer. Okay, so in such cases, if they fails to issue the right shares, okay, in that case also you can complain. Okay, non-receipt of the duplicate of share certificates. If you are not receiving any duplicate share certificates, in that case also you can file the case. Transmission of shares, non-receipt of notice of meeting. Okay, if there is any meeting is there but as an investor or a shareholders of that company you are not receiving any meeting notice, in that case also you can file a case against the companies. Okay, next is grievances against the brokers. Okay, so against brokers, which all complaints we can do? In case of if they are making any default or a delay in the payment for securities sold, or delay and default in the delivery of purchase of securities to the client, or non-issue of contract note if charging the more brokerage from the clients, non-passing the corporate benefits. Okay, so if these are the cases, we can file the case against the brokers. Next is grievances against depository participants. So first we'll understand who is the depository participants. We know that all the share market transaction now take place in a digital form, correct? So whenever we purchase or sell the securities in a digital form, obviously we receive those share certificates in a digital form, correct? So the person who holds the securities in a dematerialized form or in a digital form, that institution is known as a depository participant. Okay, so in India basically there are main two participants, depository participants working presently. One is NSDL, that is National Securities Depositories Limited. Second one CDSL, Central Depository Service Limited. Okay, so these are the main two depositories which hold the different persons digitalized form of share certificates. Okay, next is method of redressal of investor grievances. Okay, so we know that we can file a case against the brokers, companies, mutual funds, or maybe merchant bankers and etc. Correct. So to whom we can approach? Okay, so to whom to approach to file these complaints? Okay, for that we have basically four authorities. One is grievances cell in stock exchanges. Okay, so the SEBI has already guidelines is given that each and every stock exchanges must and should have one separate cell called grievances cell, where they have to receive the investors problems or frauds related any complaints, and for that they have to find the solution. Okay, there is one separate cell in stock exchanges, they can go for there to complain. SEBI is there. With SEBI also you can complain against the companies and brokers. Company law board is there. Courts are there. You can file a case in a court also. Okay. Next is scores. Okay. So this is a one of the online complaint redressal system introduced by the SEBI. Okay. So this is 24 into 7 working website where you can complain the cases anytime. Okay, so there is no any time restriction, it is 24 into 7 working, that is online basis. Okay, next is whenever you registered any complaint, you will get one receipt of acknowledgement as well as one reference number. Okay, so with that reference number you can check further what are the actions taken by the those SEBI for that complaints. Okay, so once your complaint is received, the SEBI will go through it, and after that they will take a proper action. Once the SEBI has taken the proper action, they will upload one report called Action Taken Report, that is ATR, for your complaint. Okay, so whatever the complaint you received, and for that what action the SEBI has taken, for that they will give one report. Okay, so once the ATR is issued against the complaint, then they feel that it is satisfactory and they will close that complaint. Okay, so if you are not happy with that action, then again you may go for filing the case. Okay, so this is how online process will take place for the grievances redressal system. Okay, next is the concerned investor can view the status of the complaint against the whom they have made in online website by their logging the complaint registration or a reference number. Okay, so with the help of that reference number you can check the position of your complaint. So what are the different action taken, what is the procedure is going on, or it is under the pending, or it is accepted or rejected. So these all status of that complaint you can check in the website with the help of a unique reference number. Okay, next is concept of insider trading. Okay, so what is insider trading? When any person who is connected to the company, he buys or sells the securities of the company on the basis of unpublished price sensitive information known to him and with the purpose of private gain, then it is known as insider trading. Okay, so we already know that the company means they will have some sensitive information, right? Some secrets will be there regarding the company. Okay, so if any person of that company who's know the secret of that company, and he knows that with the decision of the company what effects will happen on the share market, and with that price sensitive information, insider information or secret information, he purchase or sells the securities, then it is known as insider trading. Means what? The price sensitive information, a secret information which is not known to the public or outsiders, with that information what he do, that he purchase or sales, that is buy or sell the securities to gain the profit. Okay, so that known as insider trading. Means what? Using the inside information or highly security information to make the personal profit or personal gain, then it is known as insider trading. Okay, next is investor awareness. So what is awareness? Awareness is nothing but providing the information or knowledge regarding that particular investments or investment process or its environment. Correct? So in simple terms, it is the knowledge that an investor has to about the company's stock market, general market condition, stock market participants, investment opportunities, risk involved, return, redressal mechanism, grievances, etc. So regarding these all different aspects, providing the knowledge to the investors for their proper investment decision is known as investors awareness. Okay, next is investors activism. So what is investor activism? It involves the efforts of the investors to influence the management in governing the company by exercising their rights. Okay, so I think you heard about the minority shareholders, correct? So for example, there are 10 shareholders in a company, 8 of them in one side, 2 of them in a one side, right? They have become a minority, correct? So when they become the minority, no one will ask for their opinions, because 8 majority people whatever tell that will become finalized, correct? So in such cases, whatever that two minorities will be there, no, they will exercise their rights in the company and they influence the management in taking the decisions or in the governing. Okay, so that exercising of the rights by the investors is known as investor activism. Okay, so this is about the fifth chapter where we studied about the how the different investor protections will be taken place. Okay, from the next class we will start with the fourth unit. Okay.